Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna start calling these cigar nights. We're having another cigar night. As of right now, I have a AJ Fernandez Heritage and an H. Oopman, 1844 Nicaragua. Right. We're trying it out. Yesterday, I had a Money, I think I already said it, so just refer back to the last episode. Trying to break into the cigar game, see how that goes. This one is a bit stronger than the one I had yesterday, which is kind of fucking with me, but hopefully this beer helps. So, I think it went out. Am I tripping? I mean, I'm still tasting it, but. There we go. So, anyways, as of right now, the most popular episode that I currently have out is called Controversial Thoughts, right? So I ended that episode, and then I was reading the news today, and Carmelo Anthony got sentenced to, I think it was 35 years in prison for killing some white kid. Anyways, I don't care too much about the news. So I have more controversial thoughts that I ended up coming up with. We'll reach out later into the episode about the Carmelo Anthony case and everything like that. So, see, I told you that one was fucking. I didn't even puff it that long. Anyways, it's just fucking strong. I'm not this grown yet, I guess. We'll get to it. It's only my second cigar. Anyways, so I have I have more controversial thoughts, and one of them I want to start off with is I kind of gathered this thought due to politics or due to the news, right? And it's in my personal opinion that I think that something that should be reinstitutionalized into the United States are insane asylums. I'm sorry, the Spurs are playing right now. I was trying to bet on the game. That was the only thing that was going to make it fun, but it's just considering the fact that it's fucking on TV. Anyways, it's 35-20, minute 14 in the first quarter. It's a 2-1 series with the Knicks. Who gives a fuck? But this place is packed, right? We're back at Cigar International. I think that insane asylums should be reinstitutionalized into the United States, and the reason being is because I've seen so many individuals that not only can you not unequivocally deem them insane, but they're allowed the exact same rights that everyone else is allowed, right? They can vote, they can own guns. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think that anyone that tries to identify as a trans individual is someone who's clinically crazy. Now, there's a difference because I've seen articles about there's differences in trans, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't know this. Go ahead. So, I've seen people that obviously look like I hope she brings my fucking car back. Look like women, yet they have male genitalia, and then vice versa. Now for that, I don't know. I don't know how that fucking works. I don't know how that happens. Now obviously something went wrong, something went awry during the building of the embryo and stuff like that, and some shit got fucked up. And anything like that. But if we're going to have individuals that are transitioning, that are cutting off their genitalia, cutting off their breasts stuff like that. These should not be something that we ever view as something that's normal. Elliot Page is the most, in my opinion, Elliot Page, Dylan Mulvaney. Those are the only two individuals that are in the front of my mind that are the forefront of this topic. But stuff like that should not be things that are normal. And Elliot Page, back when she was Ellen Page, I think that was her name, in Interstellar, or not Interstellar, Inception, she was pretty. And then now it's like, what the fuck is this? And having magazines and everything like that shit is fucking crazy. Caitlyn Jenner was, in my opinion, the one that primarily was the forefront of that gave it support. That shouldn't be normal. I think we can all agree, regardless of our political opinions, I think we can all agree that gender-affirming surgery on minors is something that in no state should be legal. If you want to get a sex change and you want to have gender-affirming surgery, that's absolutely fine. Go for it. But the difference is that not only should you have to disclose that to people that you date, but I think it's just a fucking insane thing that I'm having to have this conversation. Not only should you have to disclose that to people that you date, but I think that you should also, again, only have that available to you past the age of 18. No. My card? You said you'll be back with it? Okay, thank you so much. Anyways, so... again, regardless of your political affiliation, I think that that's a no-brainer that you should not have, if you have a kid, there in no fucking way in hell should you allow them to have surgery, gender-affirming surgery, before the age of 18. If that's their decision past 18, they're an adult. Fuck it, go for it. But that should also not be something that is on our tax dollars. And I believe it's Colorado. In Colorado, it may not be Colorado, but I'm pretty sure it was. You can have as many gender-affirming surgeries as you want, and you don't have to pay for it. It's all from tax dollars. I think that's absolutely not only a miscalculation of how to spend your fucking money, but why do we have tax dollars? We have it to be able to rebuild the roads, to be able to improve schools, to be able to give funding to shit like that, the highways. Not so you can fucking get tits or cut off your penis. That should not be something that in any world is normal. If you want the surgery, you gotta pay for it. It's like the same thing with most insurance providers. If I want fucking LASIK because my eyes are shit, I gotta pay for it. If I get an insurance policy that can cover that, cool, but I still gotta pay for the insurance policy. So why the fuck should I not have to pay for that? If that's totally elective. So, there was a specific individual, right? I'll get his name. Give me a second. There was a specific individual named Anthony Lafredo. Now, Anthony is an extreme fucking case. Not only did he get surgery that took away his nose, amputated his fingers, he gave himself a total makeover, replaced bone and added it in other places that, of course, doesn't have fucking bone, or like to give himself like fins and shit. That's fucking Looney Tunes. And not only is that fucking crazy, but that is, when I was reading that, that is one of the main reasons I think that individual is not a contributor to society. Now he wants to complain that, hey, he looks like an alien, but hey, it's hard for him to get a job now, and it's discrimination and shit like that. That's not fucking right, because you're a fucking idiot. If you think that anything like that is normal, he believed that he was superior to people and that he was this fucking ultra life form or some shit, so he wanted to be able to get surgery to be able to match that appearance. And no way in hell should that be something that he had to go to multiple different countries to be able to find doctors that would be willing to operate on him. And no way in hell should that be something that's normal. In fact, that individual should have been locked up and put in a fucking insane asylum. There's no way that you're doing more harm. You're doing more good than harm in any realm of human endeavor if you're going to be someone like him. So, primarily, he's one of the main reasons I think that we should reinstitutionalize insane asylums. And then, of course, obviously, there's a lot of people like when insane asylums were actually institutionalized, or people were institutionalized into insane asylums. Yeah, the reason that they got taken away is because there was poor conditions in there, shit like that. Now, I think that insane asylums shouldn't be like that. There shouldn't be abuse of the victims because obviously there's something wrong with them. So we got to do a very thorough vetting process of the individuals that we hire, but at the same time, let's look at it like Batman, right? Arkham Asylum. Shit, hold up. Arkham Asylum. Obviously, Arkham Asylum is a fucking extreme example because the most notorious people are put there. You got Joker, you got Zaz, you got fucking Harley, you got I think Harvey, the Two Faces in there, Poison Ivy, all these bitches, right? And obviously they're the worst of the worst, right? But we don't have fucking supervillains on the planet. We have people that are supervillains that are in political situations, that are in the CIA, that are fucking crazy, that are whatever like that. But if you take an individual like, let's just say Joker's mom, and in Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, it goes into detail about how Joker's mom, I believe, like beat him when he was a kid, or his dad did. I think it was his mom, and his mom went crazy and shit like that. And so she was an insane person. So that is not something that is, unheard of. An abusive parent, someone that is mentally not right, is not someone that's unheard of. So with that being said, if someone were to be convicted of, now overall, I do believe in the death penalty. I think if you're overall convicted of crimes against children, pedophilia, shit like that, yeah, you just deserve the death penalty. But if we're going to be so stupid as to, I don't remember who it was, but there was someone recently that was unfit to stand trial, and he had, I believe it was a black individual, he had murdered like 2 people or some shit, I don't know, but this guy was unfit to stand trial. Now, was he crazy to murder people? Yeah, but at the same time, is he someone that that didn't know what he was doing and is unfit to stand trial, and someone that is, again, mentally not there? No. For cases like that, yeah, that person just firing squad. Just that's it. Lethal, damn, that was a nice shot. Lethal injection, whatever the fuck you want, but that motherfucker deserves to be put down. Now, if you have someone that's not fit to stand trial, if you have someone that, I think the son of Sam was deemed insane. Yeah, that whole thing. Now, do I believe that David was the only killer? No, because it doesn't make sense. Especially when you watch the documentary. But overall, individuals like that are pleading insanity due to like paranormal shit. You're listening to your fucking dog that is the devil that's giving you direction on what to do and how to do it. Shit like that. Yeah, that motherfucker, put him in the insane asylum. People that knowingly put their children into sell their children into sex slavery. Those people, regardless of the situation, deserve to be in internment camps, in asylums. They're absolutely insane. They're fucked up, and they have no contribution to society. We need to be able to clean our streets. And these people that are no benefit to us or anyone around them and are causing hurt and people to suffer, they don't deserve a place in society. Did I rip my fucking shirt? Oh, fuck. Anyways. What up? And I believe that these individuals that, especially once you've been deemed, crazy enough to be put into an asylum, yeah, your rights are, even if you get out, even if something happens, yeah, your rights should not be the exact same as everyone else's. You shouldn't have the right to vote. You shouldn't have the right to own a gun. You shouldn't have the right to do any of that shit because you're deemed fucking clinically insane. Why would I give you the right to be able to, I don't want to say have an opinion, but have an opinion that is the exact same as everyone else's. That means the exact same as everyone else's. If you've clinically been found insane, that's how we govern ourselves into a fucking shithole. I believe our border should be closed because
I printed the receipt.
You're good. Thank you. I really hope that I was covering the last 4 digits. Anyways. Ooh, that's fucking strong. I don't know if I'd get this one again. Maybe when I'm more advanced. So, another thing is that I believe that America is a free country, right? We all have the opinion to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but also the opinion of free speech for self-expressionism. But at the same time, I definitely think that there should be guidelines on that. A primary thing that I think we can all agree about is if you're a Nazi, yeah, should you openly have a fucking flag, waving that shit around? Or if you're a nationalist, a Confederate, should you openly have a flag? No, I don't think so, because even though it's free speech, there is, and you have self-expressionism laws that allow you to have that opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean that you just go waving it around at everybody. If you're going to do that, I think it's you're opening yourself up to a lot of not only hate but physical violence. And so, especially if you're going to be someone like a Nazi, then yeah, it kind of just it comes with that fucking territory. It is what it is. But I do believe that there should be more laws on on self-expressionism. And the reason I say this is because what happens every fucking June? It's Pride Month. Is Pride Month something that overall has lost its touch? Yes, because now it's no, and that's why the world is changing in the way it is. Pride Month is something that, yeah, it's still celebrated, but over the past few years, it's something that has rapidly gone down. Do I think that anyone, any country, any state, any city should hang a pride flag? No. Do I think that there should be pride flags on the White House? Fuck no. Because the only flag, I remember when Joe Biden was in office, we hung pride flags from the White House. But in addition to that, we hung it higher than the U.S. flag or the American flag. So, do I think that should be a thing? Fuck no. And that's why in all states, you cannot hang a flag higher than the American flag. In all U.S. states, you cannot do that. And so, there should be absolutely no reason that something like the pride flag should be in the same sentence of something that you worship as the American flag. Or even if you're in Texas, I don't even think that it should be something that you worship as much as the Texan flag. It's not a flag that you should worship. Now, do I believe that that it's a flag of evil and it's a flag of whatever? Not inherently, but now it's being something that's so weaponized that in my English class, when the fuck was I in school? This was like 3-4 years ago or some shit. In my English class, the only flag that we had hanging in there, besides the small ass American flag, I don't even know if we had a Texan flag, but let's just say we did. We have the small ones that every school classroom has, and the biggest flag in the room was a pride flag. That is something that you're not deeming it as a fucking. You may be deeming it as a safe space for, self-expressionism and stuff, but there is absolutely no reason that it should be basically a fucking coup. Like, there's no reason that we should be honoring that flag. Do I believe that gay Americans or gay people in general are a net positive to society? It depends, right? It depends, obviously, because I feel that so many gay people make being gay their only personality trait. And I think that there's also a reason why that the rate for rate by per capita with trans individuals or with gay individuals is higher. A lot of the gay people I've met have been some of the greatest people that I've met in my life. Some of the people that I bonded with so well, and they're just some of the coolest people that I've met. And so, am I saying that they shouldn't be in the same room as me and that they shouldn't have rights or anything like that? No, I'm not saying that. But do I believe that we should go back to sort of the speakeasy way? I do believe so. I believe that being gay should be something that's as not necessarily as normal as being straight, but is something that isn't talked about like being straight. There is no straight month. I don't think that there should be a straight month. I don't think that there should be a gay month. I think that there should be, overall, there shouldn't be a judgment of someone's sexuality, but it shouldn't really even be something that comes up. Being gay has become something that is so popularized in the media that people just try to shit out. And do I think that that's stupid? Yes. My girlfriend disagrees, and that's something that we're just going to disagree on. But I think that trying shit out is stupid. You have, it's like people say, your phases in college. I think that's fucking stupid. Because It doesn't taste bad. It's just very strong. Anyways, do I think there should be a straight month? No. Do I think there should be a gay month? No. And a lot of gay individuals are also pushing for it to be lesbian, gay, bi, and no trans, because the trans community is out of fucking left field batshit. And inherently, I also believe that they are. I mean, you have to be a sort of a sick individual to want to cut your own dick off, or to cut your breasts off. I think that that's absolutely asinine, and that's something that should not be celebrated. I think that, yeah, there should be recognition that gay people exist. There should be recognition that trans people exist. But that it shouldn't be something that is pushed in schools. There should be no place for a gay flag in school, let alone on the fucking White House. So, personally, me, again, I'm fine with a lot of gay people. I like a lot of gay people. They're great people. And in my formative years, or in the very beginning, I wasn't really a fan of them. Life has taught me more and more about not only with my experiences with them and them being great individuals, at least the ones I've met, but I've become more open-minded. And so for me, I'm absolutely fine with it. Do what you want and see who you see, but you shouldn't have to force that down my ass. No pun intended. Pause. But what I mean is that you shouldn't force the fact that that's like me in every conversation wanting to bring up that I'm a straight male. Like, why? There's no fucking point. Same thing with gay people. It shouldn't be that way. If you're gay, you're gay. We shouldn't have to make a fucking month for it. I think there's a lot more things that we could have a fucking month for versus that. So anyways, one of the other things that I was seeing is Carmelo Anthony. A lot of people are calling for instead of 35, I think it was 35 years, it may have been 35 to life, I don't know. The thing is he was trying to plead his case on that it was self-defense. Someone pushed him, right, this white guy at a fucking, I think it was a track meet or some shit, pushed him, and Carmelo reaches into his bag, grabs a knife, and stabs him, and almost immediately kills him. He bleeds out, right? So I think that a problem in America right now, especially with the division in races, is the fact that so many it's primarily a black issue, I would say, but it's also something that is I would say something that is kind of with all races. All races like to stick to their race, right? So it's kind of like what the fuck was his name? Sacco and Vanzetti or some shit. It was the two Italian Americans that were not given a fair trial, and they were executed strictly because, in reality, because they were Italians. Shit like that's wrong, and that's why, of course, it's such a famous case, because it's entirely wrong. And the Italian Americans, or the Italian people, have kind of held that one close to their heart, because it was an injustice done to their culture in America. And I understand that. And I understand why, especially black Americans throughout history have felt so not only disadvantaged because they were, I mean, but at the same time, so were Mexican Americans, so were indigenous individuals, or Indian individuals. And so the thing is that we have to give recognition to not only really all the races, But that doesn't necessarily mean that the white man is a bad person or all white men are evil. But that is the state that America has, or I'm sorry, black individuals have created in America, is that the white man is bad, all of them are evil, and death to white people. And that's something that entirely, if you're going to have that, where I was watching, I was on X, and I was seeing tweets or posts or whatever the fuck, right? And I saw one, and it was upsetting, and it was saying about how Carmelo Anthony should have gotten that white kid's twin brother as well, and both of them should be in the ground. And I think that's absolutely fucking asinine. But if you're also going to make those claims, then you also deserve to be charged for conspiracy for a hate crime, because not only is that racist, because now there's many a protests, and it's funny how really only black people protest, but it's absolutely insane that during the protesting, so many black individuals are saying fuck white people, and spreading hate. And I think that the funny thing is that we're backwards in America right now, especially right now. And how we're backwards is that throughout history, Abraham Lincoln was the president that freed the slaves. He was a Republican president, right? The North and the South are in the Civil War. North was the Republican Party, and the South was the Democratic Party. Texas used to be a Democratic state, but now it's black people, and really a lot of people are calling the Republicans racist, even though that they're the ones that wanted to free the slaves, and the Democratic Party are calling individuals are calling the Democratic Party saviors and shit like that, when the Democratic Party were the ones that created the Ku Klux Klan. They were also the ones that wanted to keep slaves and fought for the South. But in addition to that, you could say, okay, well, America's changed since then, right? And that's fine, sure. But considering that people don't even try to get educated on anything, really, is absolutely fucking crazy. That how can you fight for something when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? And it's, I'm not saying that I'm the most fucking, knowledgeable person on race or anything like that, because for me, I think that are racist jokes funny? Yes. But is racism something that should be entertained? No. I think that people that are racist are fucking retarded. The reason being is because it Tate said this, right? And he said racism is stupid because he's half black, half white. He said racism is a low-class peon thing. The reason being is because if a black billionaire and a white billionaire meet, they're not worried about their fucking color. They're worried about making fucking money. Too many people in America are focused on way different things. Right now, so many people are focused on basketball. Hell, I'm even fucking watching it, but that's just because it's on TV. Not because I'm like, oh shit, Cigar International is going to have the game on, let me go. So many businesses have such terrible months whenever the finals are on because everyone's watching the finals. I think that's absolutely fucking stupid. That so many people can be in a peon mindset that it affects businesses by tens of thousands of fucking dollars in projected business or projected revenue. But the fact that we're worried about the fact that this kid who I think is 19 got 35 years and that he should be free, not only are we valuing everyone's opinion way too much, and that goes into my next point about Cardi B posted some shit about how it's an injustice to black people that Carmelo Anthony was sentenced today and bullshit like that, right? Who the fuck is listening to Cardi B. This is an individual that used her tits and ass like a lot of women, right? But regardless, was a stripper that would rob men and drug them to be able to rob them, and then ditch them. And who can't even fucking put a proper English sentence together, whose rap music is fucking to the point where, I mean, who the fuck wants to listen to that? The dumb bitches that do this shit. Whatever the fuck it is, I don't fucking know. Thank you so much. So, we value too many fucking people's opinion, especially celebrities. There's absolutely no fucking reason why we should do that, because just because you were in a fucking movie I like doesn't mean that, oh shit, Taylor Swift, who just sings about her fucking exes and being heartbroken, yeah, because she endorsed Kamala, oh my god, I'm gonna go vote for Kamala. What type of fucking ass backwards shit is that? That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. But so many people do it because it's Taylor Swift. That's my favorite celebrity. I think anyone that's a fucking Swiftie shouldn't have the fucking right to vote. Because you can't tell me that anyone that's a fucking Swiftie, which in reality is fucking young women, and probably gay men, you can't tell me that their opinion, that they're fucking educated on fucking anything. Which goes back to the fact that I believe that IQ tests should be mandated in all elections across the board, whether you're fucking voting for governor, mayor, president, fucking Senate, doesn't matter. You need to take an IQ test, because there's absolutely no reason why any of us should have an opinion if we can't tell you what fucking place what place is north of the fucking United States and what continent we're on, or how many fucking continents there are. If you fucking forget Australia or Antarctica as a continent, fine, right? But there's no reason why you should go, the United States is fucking 30 fucking states, and the United States is a continent. It's not a fucking continent, right? So, we're valuing too many people's opinion. Do I think that Carmelo Anthony, a lot of people were also calling for him to be executed live. And here's my overall question. Whether I'm for it or not, doesn't fucking matter. I think that he should definitely have been guilty, because regardless of what anyone does to you, unless they're actively beating the shit out of you to a pulp, and it really is self-defense, there's absolutely no reason that, one, he was asked to leave wherever, the tent or whatever the fuck place that they were in, 15 times. And he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. But in addition to that, there's absolutely no reason that an individual like that is a productive member to society. But I also want to say that regardless of if I believe that he should be publicly executed or not, that there should be no reason why the black community is standing up for him. Or standing up for really a lot of the people that they stand up for. I'm not asking for all black individuals to be whitewashed and Uncle Tom, but there should be absolutely no reason that the black community is discriminated against for wanting to be better, for wanting to have a better character, or wanting to present themselves in a more fashionable way. I've met at least 5 individuals that are black, that I would say are very educated, very smart, but their own community discriminates against them because they don't sag their pants, or because they don't have the fucking newest sneakers, or because they don't talk in fucking Ebonics. And I think that the black community is the only ones that are keeping themselves down. We have equal rights in America. Back then, you could say, in 1960, you could say America is keeping black people down because they weren't allowed in the universities, they weren't given the right to vote, they weren't, all that shit. That doesn't happen anymore. You're not even, in fact, you're favored now if you're a black individual or a gay individual or something of an indigenous culture. You're favored now in society, and with job postings, you're favored now. So there's absolutely no reason that the black community should be holding themselves back. And the only reason they're holding themselves back is because primarily they're lazy. Now, does that mean everyone in the black community, if they're black, they're lazy? No. Again, I've met great black individuals. In fact, Kay is a black individual, and I would lay down my life for him. But the difference is that the black community can't be bringing down the only people in the black community that want to be better, because Martin Luther King had a dream. Martin Luther King said to judge us not based on the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. But yet so many black individuals are acting as if we're judging them based on the color of their skin and not the content of their character. And regardless of if they're not doing anything to improve the content of their character, but yet they're wondering why in any realm whatsoever that people don't want to be around them, that people don't want to hang with them. So they're doing it to themselves, and I can't feel sorry for that. I could feel sorry if, hey, we're not giving you the right to vote, you're not favored in job postings, but at the same time, we've had you can't blame that entirely on white people, because with the whole transatlantic slave trade, more people have been enslaved by black people than people ever enslaved by white people. I think that's a fucking crazy statistic, because white people enslaving black people is the only type of slavery that really in the world that we even think about. But now it's turned into so many black people are racist against white people, but black people are racist against black people. The only type of individuals that are currently being enslaved in the world, I'm sorry, not the only type, because there's still a few types, but primarily the highest type of place that black people are still enslaved is in Africa, and those are by black people. Anyways, I also believe that fraud charges should definitely be brought against his parents. His parents with the GoFundMe money, but I think 2 Cadillacs. His mom got a nose job. Fucking, like, what? And somehow this isn't fraud? That is exactly what fraud is. I remember I asked my history teacher, like 5 years ago, however many years ago, he was saying that there was grants going on to be able to prepare for college for whatever, based on whatever, right? And I said, so what if I won one of those? And he said, well, then you would use that money to be able to get into college. And I said, well, what if I wanted to use it for something different? He said, well, then you wouldn't be eligible. And I said, well, what if I won it and then I changed my mind and I wanted to use it for something different? He said, well, then that's called fraud and you would go to jail. I said, fair enough. Because it's a misappropriation of funds it's a misrepresentation of funds that were given to you, that you were given under false pretenses. Now, I wouldn't have given him any money for a fucking lawyer on a GoFundMe, because what he did was wrong. But for the people that did, they should have the ability to sue. I saw another one that was another post on X that was saying, it was a fucking retarded congressperson saying, don't celebrate Juneteenth if you're happy about the fucking sentencing of Carmelo Anthony. And I think that is such a fucking retarded statement, because that's saying that because I'm happy that a black kid that murdered someone, or that is inciting violence, because I'm happy that person went to jail, I'm fucking discredited on all further things, and I'm not able to fucking support the black community whatsoever. And the difference is that let's flip this and make it a white person killed a black person. You know how many fucking riots there would be for, regardless of, even if it was self-defense, which a majority of the time it is, if it was self-defense, how many everyone in the black community would be, if it could be the exact same circumstances, would be calling for that fucker's head, be calling him a cracker, be saying that he deserves to be under the jail, he deserves the death penalty, he deserves everything, and it could be the exact same circumstances, and you cannot tell me that is bullshit. You cannot tell me that black people are such forgiving individuals that if it was a white person that killed a black person, that the black community would say, well, what was happening? Well, why would he do that? Well, why would he have a knife? Well, oh my God. And wouldn't just say, fuck it, he deserves to die. He deserves fucking death penalty, firing squad, everything like that. So it's not a double-edged sword. It is injustice. It's racism. It's reverse racism. But we're only supposed to look at white on black crime as evil, but black on white crime as misunderstood, and black person deserves of whatever the fuck, and they deserve to be free, and they deserve to be fucking favored in sentencing and everything like that. And that's absolutely asinine, because it's the same shit as sympathy for the guilty is, I don't remember the fucking quote. Sympathy for the guilt. I'll paraphrase. Sympathy for the guilty is hate to the innocent, and that's true. If you're someone that you're not happy about the fucking trial, I mean, these people, it wasn't a jury of only white people. There was, I believe, 2 black females on it. There was Asian individuals on it. There was 5 white people. And within 3 hours of the trial, all of them came to the unanimous decision that this motherfucker is guilty. So the media tries to portray it as a black versus white thing. And black people are doing the exact same thing and giving into that. But not only are they blindly following someone that is entirely in the wrong, but then they're entirely contradictive, because, again, same thing. If the exact same circumstances happened, but we flipped races, black people would be rioting so much, saying fucking death threats to his entire family, everything like that. And the thing is that white people don't do that. Only really black people do that. But yet, we're supposed to see them as misunderstood or underrepresented, as the quiet ones. They're not the fucking quiet ones. And this isn't a racist opinion. This is the opinion that black people have too. And that's why they're comfortable with going on Twitter or X, going on Instagram, going on TikTok, and posting about, I'm a black individual, but even I can't stand for this. And that's something that overall is fucking asinine. Anyways, and then there was an individual that he was a disabled veteran, and this black guy walks up to him, and he thought that the disabled veteran was on the jury selection for Carmelo Anthony. So he says, "You were on the jury?" The guy goes, "What?" And then immediately is met with a fucking fist. And he's a disabled vet. And a woman tries jumping in saying, "No, he's not on the jury. He's a disabled veteran. He's a disabled veteran. Leave him alone." But the black guy that fucking starts beating the shit out of a disabled veteran for being on the jury that rightfully prosecuted this individual is immediately assaulted. And yet there's no charges whatsoever against this black individual. And even if there was, black people would swear up and down, left and right, that individual that assaulted that disabled veteran should be free, and that he was just doing what he thought was right. But again, we do the exact same thing, flip races, and that white individual that would have, in that scenario, assaulted that black disabled veteran, they'd be calling for his head. It's not fair. There's nothing fair about all of it, and that's why racism is so stupid. We should primarily just look at, okay, what's the cases of it? Is this person in the right? Regardless of his fucking skin color. That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing that enters the mind. But black people are so quick to defend other black people, regardless of if they're innocent or guilty, and portray them as if they're innocent. And it's an injustice. So, again, no one gives a fuck about Cardi B or celebrities' opinions. I'm sorry, a lot of people give a fuck about Cardi B and celebrities' opinions. No one should give a fuck about Cardi B or any celebrity's opinion. If that celebrity if you only really know that celebrity, and it's the exact same thing for why people wanted Kamala in office. They couldn't name a fucking thing that she did, but they wanted her in because she was a woman, or because she was black, or whatever the fuck she was, or because they just hated Trump so much. And that is not what fucking voting should be about. It shouldn't be, I hate this guy, so I want anyone else to win. It should be, okay, why? Okay, why do you want this person to win? Okay, well, can you fucking name anything that they've fucking done? Why do you want to support them? And if your fucking only reason is the fact because they are not this person, that's not a fucking proper reason to put someone in the presidency. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. So, we've covered a lot of bases. Bring back insane asylums. Laws against self-expressionism, i.e. pride, should be enacted. That's not something that I think should be celebrated as much as it is, but also not something that should be shoved down our fucking faces and in our throats and on TV everywhere and on our fucking merchandise and Disney fucking everywhere and Target and fucking all these brands should not receive extra money to be able to promote pride. Now, are there individuals that should be forgiven for the fact that they were gay and they were unrightfully prosecuted for it back then? Yes. Alan Turing is the best result of that. And the Queen apologized to him posthumously. Sent out a fucking decree and everything. Seems the Spurs are going to win this one. I wish my fucking bet went through. It was 12-2. I tried to place the bet. It's fucking 76-49 now, I think. I think that's what it said. But no. Anyways. Fuck celebrities and their opinion. And I also believe more people should be men or women of their word. But of course, no one is. If you say, and how many times I've heard this even in my own family, if Trump wins or if this person wins, I'm moving out of America. Then they win and not a goddamn thing changes. I think those people should be forced to stick to their word. If you're going to post and make that claim multiple times, a one-off, maybe. Fluke. Twice, alright, stupidity. 3-4 times posting it on Instagram, fucking getting petitions signed and shit like that. Get the fuck out. Same reason why, if you're in Congress, you should be a naturalized American citizen. You should not be Somalian. You should not be fucking an immigrant. You should not be anything like that, because it's a misappropriation of funds. But the bills that you're going to be signing on behalf of the American public are something that is not for the betterment of America as a society. You should be an individual that bleeds fucking red, white, and blue if you're going to be the person that's in charge of our government. All right. So, anyways, how's life for y'all? Probably fucking sucks, right? One of my last opinions that I didn't get a lot of shit for because no one really knew what the fuck I was talking about. Even though it wasn't hard to understand, it was just that they didn't understand entirely what that meant. Was one of the opinions I had a few years back was I said, I feel that America would be a better place if we had a president like Putin, or if we were not necessarily a dictatorship, but if we had stricter laws, especially laws on violence and laws on crime. If we crack down on it, I think America would be a much better place. If we were to, yeah, fucking cool. Bro, you have a fucking Mustang. I hate people that are like that because if you have a fucking Bugatti or a fucking McLaren or you got a fucking supercar, do that shit all you want because you fucking earned it. But if you have a fucking $50,000 Mustang, you're not anyone fucking special. I got a fucking $50-something thousand truck, and I'm not fucking taking off the exhaust and taking off the muffler so that way I can fucking crank that shit. I think people like that are fucking incels and retarded. Anyways. I believe that there has been, what's his name? That black guy that was, I think he was an immigrant, and he stabbed and killed that beautiful little fucking small ass white woman on that train, who was an immigrant. It was such a sad thing because she didn't do anything. He just fucking stabbed her from behind while she was sitting there. She didn't talk to him. She didn't fucking say a goddamn word. She was just on her phone. I think that was such a sad thing that should not have happened. If I'm not mistaken, that individual had been arrested over a dozen or over 20 times throughout his life. Shit like that. That is what I think that whatever judge lets an individual out who then becomes a repeat offender of whatever the fuck should not only lose their license, but, well, of course, pending a fucking investigation. If someone has been in jail fucking 10 times and this judge lets them out with fucking paying a fine and some shit, yeah, that person should lose their license. But if they've been in jail once, and they let them off the hook this time, and they do something pending an investigation, I think they should lose their license depending on how the investigation goes. But it should definitely be up for debate. You as a lawyer can lose your license in multiple ways. You can lose your license, if I'm not mistaken, by choosing to not represent your client, or by dropping your client. I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that is true. So, I think that the same thing should happen if you're a judge. If you're a judge and you let a stupid fucker out that has been in jail fucking over 3 times, and you let them out, and they do something and they fucking kill someone, you should lose your license and you should serve jail time for such a stupid lapse in judgment. I'm not recommending that we become, the country in the world with the highest incarceration per capita among everyone and everything like that, and that, if you're seeing smoking weed, that you go to jail. I think weed should be legalized because not only is it a market that pumps a lot of money into the economy, but it's a fucking plant, bro. Like, it's not fucking crazy. I think the people that smoke weed should be not necessarily discriminated against, but to a degree, they should not be people that they should be judged. But do I think it should be illegal? No. Because I've rarely ever met an individual. I have, but I rarely have ever. I've met a lot of individuals that smoke weed or that do coke or whatever. And for that 5% that I would trust, that 95% are absolute fucking idiots. And I'm not saying that, again, I'm not saying weed should be illegal. I think it should be legal, but up to a specific amount. Now, if you're going to be a fucking distributor, yeah, maybe not. But you getting caught with a few fucking grams shouldn't get you jail time. So, see, like this, fucking Taylor Swift on the fucking Knicks, ESPN, why? Who the fuck gives a fuck, bro? Fucking, and that's the reason why I think sports is so, not necessarily sports, but sports fans are so stupid. Because overall, if you're the individual that, you're not fucking Taylor Swift, you're Joe Schmo who sits on your fucking couch, and you're willing to fucking break your TV, or you're willing to fucking kill people over a fucking game. I think, and I actually saw this on X today. I've had this opinion for a while, but I saw it on X, and I said, finally, someone fucking agrees. If there was, I think there was a San Antonio fans that were, like, beat in New York after the game, if you're an individual that is willing to go that batshit over a fucking game, then yeah, you deserve not only to be fucking handed a hefty sentence, but you can also go into the fucking insane asylum and you can get shut the fuck up. And I think you deserve every bit of that punishment. If you're that fucking mentally incapable to fucking be anyone that anyone would want to give a fuck about, then you deserve whatever sentence you're handed. So, I like basic outfits like this. I got some Wrangler pants on. Fucking cost $40-$50. I got my Under Armour shirt on. I don't even know how much that fucking thing cost. Got my Tacovas on. Only like, they're not that expensive. They're only like $350. Belt buckles like $250 combined. Basic shit. I remember feeling so hateful because I would be wearing fucking $2,500 to school and no one would fucking bat an eye, but everyone bats an eye when this guy was wearing a fucking what's that dumbass Lil Uzi I think fucking shirt. Everyone's like, oh, that's a cool shirt, and I'm like, bro, I'm wearing fucking 3Gs over here, but fucking Lil Uzi, who's this fucking guy you can't even fucking understand, like, you want to go crazy over that? Like, fuck you. But at the same time, I think that is a representation of who we are as a society, that we value so many fucked up back at fucking, I almost said it like my supervisor, back asswards, which I thought was really funny, ass backwards things that society as a whole, so many people do not deserve to fucking live. Now, it goes back to the same thing. There's a lot of people, even that I know, that should not be parents, that should not have kids, that don't deserve to have kids. But in addition to that, there's so many people that are such a negative impact to society that they don't even fucking deserve to be anywhere but either in jail or in the ground. it's those type of people that, like George Floyd. George Floyd, the most famous picture of him, the one that anyone has seen, or that everyone's fucking seen, it's the same picture that his brother got a fucking, I think it was a gold chain with his face in it. But that guy was not a net positive to society. He had been in jail before for robbery and the robbery of, and I believe the assault of a pregnant woman. But in addition to that, this guy was same thing with like Martin Luther King. Been in jail multiple times. Didn't seem to be a net positive. Now, did Martin Luther King have a good message? Yes, especially at that time when black people were judged by their skin and not the content of their character. Now we're asked backwards, and we're giving them a pass based on the color of their skin versus the content of their character. So I think it's a fucked up world we're in right now, but in addition to all that, this has been part 2 of Controversial Thoughts. Controversial Thoughts 1, most popular video right now. I think it's at 90 views. I don't know, it's just fucking blown up. I don't even know 90 people that would want to fucking listen to this channel, but hey, it is what it is. I'm not going to complain that especially if that introduces people to my channel, but in addition to that, introduces them to the main topics of what my other videos have been about, and is able to be, again, a net positive on their life, to be able to give them a new perspective, or a perspective of someone that isn't such a fucking pacifist, or such a individual that is so nonchalant that nonchalant people don't have any fucking value to society whatsoever, because they allow everything and fucking have laws for nothing. They have no backbone. They don't, as long as you're happy and as long as you feel good and shit like that, then they're absolutely fine with it. And I think that is fucking ass backwards. I think that people should be molded into, at the very minimum, people with fucking class. That should be the primary thing, is you should be able to look at anyone and go, the content of their character is someone that I would trust, or someone that I believe would make the right decision, not someone that would stab me in the back, not someone that would rob me, not someone that would see me drop my wallet and hand me my wallet back. I think if we were more into not necessarily being a dictatorship, but if we were heftier with our fines and penalties, and we started getting everyone in the shape of bringing back shaming, we could be that society. But as of right now, I wouldn't trust fucking anyone except my mom and very few friends, and very few people to see me drop my wallet and hand that fucker back to me. Cash untouched, cards untouched. The first time my card was stolen, I was in 7th grade. It was stolen by this black guy named Carmelo. Actually, it's fucking perfect for today's fucking video. Not a net positive to society. It is what it is, and who gives a fuck, especially now. It's been fucking almost a decade. I don't give a fuck now, but at the same time, if that individual is with another black individual, his name was Jordan, stole my Bose headphones. Those were fucking $200-something, especially back then. This was fucking 7th grade. This was back when car prices were fucking normal. You could get a fucking 0% rate or a 1.9% rate. So, but I've had so many people try to fuck me over in my life. And is it uncanny that a lot of them are black? Yes, but at the same time, is that primarily what I'm saying? Yes, is that these people shouldn't be judged by shouldn't be judged by their skin, but considering that this is primarily a problem, because almost never have had a negative experience that bad with anyone that wasn't a black individual. And again, does that mean I'm racist? No. I love black people. And I love, again, the people that I trust most in my life, or the people that I bonded with most of my life, a lot of them have been black. But at the same time, should they be judged by the content of their character if they're a specific way or do specific things? Fuck yes. And there shouldn't be leniency, because if black people had their way with white people, there wouldn't be any leniency. If a lot of people had their way with white people, there wouldn't be any leniency. So overall, anyways, that's been this episode. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I didn't mean to go on a rant. Hopefully I didn't fucking lose half my audience, but at the same time, if you're not able to understand where I'm coming from, well then I was gonna lose you eventually. If I lose you because you don't want to understand where I'm coming from, but in addition to that you want to hate me from where I'm coming from, and I'm sharing my own personal experiences, well then I would have lost you anyways. And you're also not someone that I would trust to be able to not only be a contributing member to society, but to be anyone that's worthy of going the extra mile for anything. Someone that's worthy of getting everything that they want out of life. Because if you can't even get past your own mental, then you don't deserve what life can offer. So, anyways, this episode's been long. I'll see you on the next one.